Good Cinco de Mayo Day is what today is, 5th of May. I think the Mexicans are probably celebrating especially hard this year, knowing that it might be the last year without the wall. Right? So on the line right now, a different topic. I do want to say before we talk about this, Andrew, am I told that you were saying that America's Got Talent?
Right.
All these shows they're not really competition talent shows. They're reality shows, right?
Right.
Yes.
I mean, it's all. I don't want to say fake, but
It's all about numbers.
Predetermine who's going to win and who's the most popular, and
It is, and everybody's got to have a story.
Oh,
yeah,
That's the
you
main
gotta
thing.
have a story.
I had a friend of mine. His name is John Wing. He's a comedian, and he had to have a story, and so he
Did he embellish it?
embellished a bit.
Yeah.
He said he was on drugs, and he wasn't like crazy on drugs, like so.
like
Yeah.
Like
Gallagher.
that you'd have to have
Right.
Gallagher.
Well, we don't know
Andrew,
that. In fairness, come on.
Listen, I already dumped it.
Allegedly.
If anybody would sue us, it would be him, Andrew. Now,
So
sorry.
you got to be
sorry.
careful. Yeah.
Yeah. So he had to make up the story, and sometimes those stories stick with you
Yes.
and don't necessarily do you all that well.
Right.
Yeah. Here's an interesting story. Dr. Robert Silverman is on. He's a certified nutrition specialist, a certified clinical nutritionist, certified strength and conditioning specialist, and the certifications just go on. But he's saying that these Biggest Loser contestants are having problems now with
This
their
is crazy. Yeah,
with their
this is crazy.
metabolism. And Dr. Robert Silverman, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. How are you?
So good, and I got to tell you something. I have struggled. I really love MetaFast. I mean, let me change that. I hate MetaFast. Are you familiar with that weight loss program?
Yes, sir.
Okay, but it worked, and I lost 35 pounds. I was like down to my high school weight, and the minute I went off, I put on everything plus, and it's all about your metabolism, right?
Clearly, without question.
Yeah. And that's what these guys are going through, your fear on this program.
Absolutely. What happened was when you lose weight, and they had to lose a lot of weight, they were quite corpulent, your metabolism drops, but they didn't realize how much it would drop, what their set point was. So maybe they got to 200 pounds, but they could only consume calories for someone who weighed 130. So they were destined to gain all the weight back.
At the end of the day, though, losing that weight for someone as large as that is really a big positive when it comes to their health, though, as long as if they could just keep it off, right?
That's the key. If they could keep it off, they would have to do it differently. They worked out too long. They worked out too hard. They deprived themselves of too many calories. And again, it was calorically based. They didn't look at the system of the body with the hormonal signaling of the brain and the metabolics of burning calories.
You know, Doc, I just read an article on this, and this is exactly what you're talking about, that in going through this dramatic weight loss process, what they found was their resting metabolism rate, how many calories they burned when they were just sitting in a chair, used to be normal, even though they were obese. After they lost all the weight, when they were like sitting down or sleeping, their bodies burned basically 0 calories. So they were, in order to maintain that low weight, they had to go on like 800-calorie diets and work out 8 hours a day.
Right.
Yeah, they literally had to starve themselves after
To
losing
maintain.
250 pounds.
Just to maintain. So can that be reversed, though?
Yeah, well, it could be reversed, and if they did it differently, they wouldn't have had the same problem.
Well, I'm going to tell you, I've been on all these crash diets, and I'm struggling. I'm kind of sitting in a place that's, I'm 30 pounds heavier than I want to be, and maybe 35. But maybe I've turned 50, but I really think it's messed up my metabolism so much that even when I'm eating like a 1,600 calorie diet per day, I'm not losing weight. I'm just kind of staying there. Is it my metabolism all screwed up?
It's your metabolism because of the yo-yo diets. Obviously, you dropped your set point for calorie burns.
Yeah.
Also, do you get the cravings? Because if you do, the fat cells now we found in this literature work aberrantly, and they signal to your brain to release hormones to make you hungry.
Oh. What do you think about the gastric bypass and all these other things?
I'm not a big fan of it because, again, you're on a calorically restrictive diet, and the big takeaway there is after surgery you can't absorb nutrients.
How about they have the new thing where they're testing right now where you swallow, it's almost like you're swallowing a balloon, and it expands inside the stomach, so it's non-surgical, but it does the same thing. I'm assuming you wouldn't like that either.
No, I mean, if you're going to do that, you might as well just have a couple glasses of water before you eat, fill yourself up, and you won't want to eat as much.
True. Okay.
What about hanging around bigger people? Does that help at all?
Yeah, that probably, I understand where you're going with that.
Because, visually, compared to those other people, and then you appear a lot thinner.
So that would solve the problem.
Yeah.
Contrast leads to persuasion, I see.
Greg.
Greg is a comedian in studio here, Doc.
I'm sorry, I couldn't resist.
Yeah, it was the seriousness that he threw it at us. I was taken off guard here.
So, in speaking, mentioning Biggest Loser, there was one thing I read in a recent article. I think this was the study. Was that there's a reason they never do a Biggest Loser reunion is because all of their metabolisms are so messed up after they
don't have the success stories.
They're on their way back to the weight they were before.
Yeah.
13 out of 14 gained almost all the weight back, and 4 were heavier.
Wow. I have Joe on the line right now who has a question and a comment on the Biggest Loser. Joe, you're in the middle of losing weight right now, right?
Yeah, Bill, I decided that April was a good month for me to start because April 6th was my 6th year of my non-smoking addiction. Right. So I figured it was a good month. So April 10th, I started working out. And when I say work out, I mean, let's take it easy there. I'm not, hitting the weights just yet. I've been doing cardio and elliptical every single morning but Sundays. My goal is I try to do about 1,200 calories a morning, and then I got to go to work. So that's so far the extent of my working out, although they tell me you got to start the weights soon because building muscle reduces fat, too. So,
what do you think? What do you think of what he's doing, Doc?
Well, I like the fact that he's getting up and moving. The steady state cardio has not been as proven to be as effective as high-intensity training. Give me 10 minutes of burpees, and it'll probably work better, and or 4 minutes of Tabata. But he's getting up, he's exercising. It's a big positive. Thumbs up if you could see me. As far as eating, again, I don't like to count calories. I'm all about counting chemicals, nutritional value, and satiety, not calories.
Okay.
All right, so now what I've been doing as far as diet, Doc, is I've been cutting down on the carbs. Like I'm Italian and Irish, no pasta, no potatoes. I've been doing a brown rice, and I've been doing a lot of proteins.
I like that. Add a lot of greens. You should be eat from the color rainbow. 3/4 of your plate should be vegetables.
Okay.
And then I do drink a gallon of water a day. That's my new challenge. I bring a gallon jug with me, and I finish it by 9 at night.
They're gonna hang up on us, Joe. I think. Are you, Doc? They're telling you got to go.
They're telling me I got to go. I'm being called.
Thank you, Doc.
We could keep you for an hour. Thanks so much.
I would love to be with you.
Okay, thanks.
I'll finish this call.
Hold on, Joe. Greg Morton is gonna continue. So your thoughts, Greg, on what Joe's doing?
Well, here's the thing. They've found that
you're in good shape.
Anyway, they find that with the intensity that you work out in, the intensity is the key. So short bursts, like he said, is very good. And what will happen is your body will adapt to whatever thing. So if you do like what you're doing, the elliptical all the time, your body will adjust to that. It'll adapt, and then you won't receive any benefits.
That's why you lose early on. That's why
you got to trick the body. You got to mix it up. And then what your experts there at the gym said, you building muscle mass, that helps burn. And then the other thing, too, what the doc said about greens, that's really important.
They say crack cocaine helps.
That's a quick fix. Yeah. And it's expensive.
I'm just saying.
It helps weight loss, but then your teeth are shot, though.
Do you know... in the 70s, that was what they used. Cocaine is what they used in the 70s for women to lose weight. I mean, it's terrible. Joe, one last question for you. Nagel would like to know if that means you've also given up shandy.
No.
Okay.
You know what? I would love to have an ice-cold, fresh, brewed Saranac shandy. That's what I would love this summer.
I do have to say...
And I have Sundays are my cheat days, so I would drink a case every Sunday.
That's a lot of cheating right there. I do have to say the new mule mule bat. What are they calling it? Mule kick.
Mule kicker.
Mule kicker. It's available right now at the brewery gift shop and up in their bar. There is delicious. It's a Moscow Mule, Joe, and it is really, really good. We sampled it here the other day, so check that out.
I
just want to
Barrack Street today and try a little bit.
Try it out. Okay, Joe.
And here's another thing. One more quick thing. Don't forget, always treat yourself.
You have to do that.
If you treat yourself, you won't get the cravings. So have a treat day and eat whatever you want.
Oh, it's a treat day. I was on a treat hour. That's where I'm going.
11,
wrong.
2, and 4 every day.
It's treat time. Here is Frank in Utica. Frank, go ahead.
Yeah, I just had a question for the doctor that came on. I don't know what the guest is there now, but the one fellow that was on before seemed pretty up to what I need to know. Like I'm 58. 25 pounds overweight, otherwise for excellent health, no smoking, no drugs.
Yeah.
And I need to lose this 25 pounds. But the only problem is, I mean, no kidding aside, but if I exercise, all I do is get hungrier.
I know.
You will.
And then I want to eat more, and then I got to lose more. So
It will pass.
It will pass.
Yeah,
It will
so
pass.
Small meal, Frank. The big thing is small meals throughout the day. Many small meals throughout the day and a big breakfast.
For the
That's what
record,
you need to do.
Frank, none of these people giving you answers are doctors. I just wanted to clarify that. But they're right. But I got to tell you though, Frank,
I did sleep at a Holiday Inn.
without a CPAP machine, so that's big. Listen, Frank, I have to tell you, there is something to be said for the fact that you're 58. I will be 52 this year. It changes. And I know, Andrew's 20, how many years old? How old are you, Andrew?
Almost 26.
Almost 26. Well, yeah, eating all day long and eating little things and working out and stuff, it's a lifestyle he can live. I'm not sure that we at 52 or 58 are going to have the same success at that.
All right, you got to eat slower. You got to take your time, and if you eat fast, you don't know if you're full or not.
You're right.
Right.
You don't,
Next thing you know, then you're going like, "Oh, I'm stuffed." Well, yeah, because you were shoveling.
Based on the calls we got on this, Frank, I got to tell you, I'm going to get somebody on that can spend a little time with us in the 8 o'clock hour, maybe Monday or Tuesday next week. See if we can help some people out. So, okay.
I think I'm free. I'm
Frank,
free
thanks.
then. I could make those calls. I could do that.
On this way back,
I know a
from
lot about this
Syracuse.
stuff.
Not that I'm discounting what you guys are saying, but you're right. I mean, you are right, and you're
Yeah, my wife is an expert in this
50s, right?
stuff, and she
Lower
was
50s.
yeah. And that juicing thing, that's another good thing. I mean,
Yeah,
but
I
you
do it.
can't do too much of that either.
Yeah.
See, people do too much of the same thing.
Will you clarify juicing, by the way?
Yeah.
You don't mean steroids, do you? You mean the juices.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. You need to pump yourself up, you need to juice all the time. Because otherwise you start shrinking and becoming like a little boy, little chicken. You get little chicken arms and everything like that. It's crazy. You need to do juice every day, every hour.
comedian.
Jeff, get to the chopper. Get to the chopper.
I'm going.
Comedian Greg Morton is in studio here this morning. He will be at Funny Bone in Syracuse at Destiny USA tonight, tomorrow, Saturday night, and Sunday. For tickets, call 423-8669. Nice. We'll break and come right back at WIBX.